Welcome to our intro to Showit. In this video, we're going to walk through the app interface, which is what you see on the screen now. Quick note that you're going to need to use the Google Chrome browser to use Showit. So let's start with what you see in the middle of the screen. This big window right here is the desktop version of your site, and over here on the left is the mobile version. Since phones have smaller screens, we often need to adapt things like the text and photos to make sure it's a great experience on both devices, and luckily Showit gives us a lot of control over that. So over here on the left in the site panel, this is where all the pages that make up your site live. So you can see here we have home, about, services, etc. And the way that the hierarchy of Showit works is that your site is made up of pages, which are listed right here, and each page has sections that are called canvases. So over here, as I scroll over each of these, you'll see that each is a different canvas, and then inside these canvases, there are different elements. So that's a text box or a photo box. So it sort of goes from largest to smallest: pages, canvases, and then elements. To go inside any page, you just want to make sure it's highlighted, and then you click this Page tab. So here's the home heading right here. This is showing that we're on the home page. And then all of these smaller layers underneath are the canvases that make up the page. So if I actually click on what makes us special, it's going to sort of skip us down to this canvas on the page, and then it's going to show the different elements that are inside that page. So you can see as I scroll over each one on the mobile screen, it's showing me where that object is on the page. And you can easily reorder your canvases just by dragging them up and down within the canvas list, and that will actually change the location of it on the page. And you can also hide a canvas so that it doesn't show up on the page, but it's not actually deleted, so you don't lose the content. You can do that by pressing these three little dots right here, and you can say you want it visible on desktop and mobile, or uncheck it to make it hidden. And you can also do that with each individual element. So if for some reason, I didn't want this photo to show on mobile, I could just use these little icons and I could turn that element off on mobile, but it would still stay there on desktop. In terms of turning off entire canvases, this can be really helpful if you want to change something for a limited time, or maybe you have programs that are only open a certain time of the year, but you don't actually want to delete that content because you don't have to recreate it next time. So you can just use these little check marks to make it not visible. Okay, so when you click on anything, whether it is a page, a canvas, or an element, this properties panel over here on the right is going to show you options for what you can do to adjust the settings or the properties. So if I have home selected right here, which is the page, this properties panel over here is showing me options that will only apply to the page. Then if I go down into a canvas and select one of these, now it's showing me settings for the canvas, such as, what the height of the canvas is or what the background is set as. And then as I go in and highlight individual elements, now it's giving me a whole bunch more options because this is a text box. So it has a ton of properties that I can change. And you can also set links and transitions, hover effects, all kinds of stuff over here on that properties panel. And it's pretty intuitive, so if you ever get stuck on how to change something, the best bet is just to click on whatever it is, go over to the properties panel, and you'll probably be able to find where you can edit that. Okay, so let's go over the rest of the interface. So up here in the left corner is where you'll find all the universal settings for your site. So site settings is where you'll connect your domain, link your social profiles, and you can also set up Google Analytics in there. Design settings is the site-wide font and color settings for your site. And then the media library is where all your photos, videos, and logo files live. And we'll dive into that in a future video. In the bottom toolbar, you have mobile and desktop views. So you can toggle between having both of these views show, having just the mobile, and having just the desktop. Now this is helpful if you want to be able to focus on one thing at a time. However, it can be a little dangerous because you can completely forget to adjust things on one or the other if you get too in the weeds on something. So it's a really good idea as much as possible to keep these both open just so you don't forget to adjust something on one of the views. Then you have the zoom buttons, so you can zoom in and out on either one of these views. So if I want to select the desktop view, it'll let me zoom out so I can see more of the page. Mobile view, say I want to zoom in really close to adjust something, and then you can reset it using this middle magnifying glass. Okay, so in the middle here, you'll see these tools. This is where you can add new elements to the page, such as text, images, shapes. This is a little bit more advanced. And then you do have your undo and redo buttons right here. And then here's where you can go for help anytime. Showit has a huge library of helpful tutorials, which is right here in this help doc. And then their chat is super helpful and responsive. So anytime you're looking for help, that's a great place to go. Up here, we have publish and preview. So the great thing is that Showit saves your work as you go, so you don't really have to worry about losing anything, but you can use this preview button anytime you want to see how your site looks on both desktop and mobile without pushing it live. So you can click it, it's going to open up in this little preview here, and then if you want to see it in a regular browser tab, you can click that and it'll show you full sized, and then you can scroll through and actually see what that live site is going to look like. And then when everything is perfect, you can go ahead and hit publish. There'll be a little pop-up asking if you're sure, and then it's going to push your site live with all of the changes that you made. And there you go. That is your intro to Showit, and I'll see you in a future video.